Boom! And we are live. I am joined by Montverde women's head basketball coach, Coach Jennings. Thank you for the opportunity.
Max, thank you for having me.
This campus is beautiful, but the first thing I always do on every show, those listening to the show know exactly what I'm about to ask. How are you doing? Because 2020, one thing it taught me, you can't take anything for granted. The COVID has kind of just brought a little perspective to everything. So how are you doing?
I'm good, man. As long as like I say, I wake up, I have air in my lungs, and I'm able to move back and forth and get to where I need to be. I'm excellent. I can't complain, man. I like you said, it's been a crazy year, and I'm happy to be here.
Right. Now you have an amazing program that you're running, but before we dive into your program, before we dive into your players, talk about your coaching, I want to talk about you, the player. So you played at Xavier, you've played overseas, you played professionally. One thing now, my high school coach, Coach Howard, he's going to kill me when he listens to this. So we were in the gym one time, and he was like, Max, I was a high flyer back in the day. I'm like, Coach, come on, man. You weren't a high flyer back in the day. And so he shows me these pictures, and his head's hitting the backboard. I'm like, well, I would have never thought it because he's limping everywhere. So I'm like, okay, it makes sense now. And so that's always kind of brought a little perspective for me, like, okay, you never know what these guys were like. So talk about you as a player for my audience. Give us a little history lesson of Coach Jennings, the player.
Oh, I was nice.
Yeah?
Look, ain't no modesty to it. I was nice. No, but I think, you know what, I had great opportunities. I played for a great AAU program, All Ohio Black out of Columbus, Ohio, and you know that program, Nike affiliated, Nike sponsored, and we played at all of the top tournaments. So just had the opportunity to get that exposure at a younger age. And, you know, took it from there, took that back to high school and had great people in my corner in high school, trainers, coaches, all those great things, and just hooped. And then once I got the scholarship and decided to go play at Xavier, it was up from there. But, man, high school days, they called me special delivery. I got a hold of some type of weight, don't it?
So shout out to Rashad Phillips. We were just talking about his daughter. I think she's going to be the next big thing. But we were talking about, like, you could see the position he's putting his daughter in. So you just talked about certain AAU teams. So for those listening, a parent listening, how important is it to put your child in the right position early?
Absolutely. I see a lot of parents that they don't have the education behind AAU, nor do they have the education behind high school basketball. You know, some parents they're listening to the wrong people. You know, they're doing things where, you know, you see so often that kids are playing for 4, 5, 6 different teams because, you know, the first thing is parents say, hey, my kid isn't getting enough playing time, or my kid is this, or they, you know, a parent is supposed to think the world of their kid. That's what a parent is supposed to do. But realistic parents know when their kid isn't, you know, producing or doing what they're supposed to be doing. So the educated parent, hey, this coach right here, I know that this coach knows what they're doing. You know, they're affiliated with this caliber, you know, these caliber coaches. They can put my kid in this situation. And I'm not saying that my kid is going to go here and start and be the end-all, be-all, but I know that my kid will learn, they're going to grow, and then they're going to get their opportunity, as opposed to adversity hit. And the first thing I do is, instead of allowing my kid to be able to face a little adversity,
right,
and kind of tackle it head on, I remove my kid from the situation and put them on another team. And you know, it's a sad thing because at the end of the day, you're gonna face adversity everywhere you go.
Everywhere.
And most parents are, I want my team to be the best. You know, if I don't have children right now, but you know, you speak of Rashad, and he has a daughter, and he's been around enough pro people and around the game enough to know that, you know, he has to send his kid with the right people so that she can continue to develop. Because if he doesn't, then she's going to be stagnant.
Right.
You understand? So
right.
A lot of parents don't know that. They want to go, you know, a lot of parents are satisfied with their kid being the best of the bums. I don't want my kid to be the best of the bums. Like,
no.
Hey, this team is trash, but my kid averaged 30. But the team is trash. Mm-hmm. So, like, you're not really, they're getting nothing of that. Right. I want my kid, if this kid over here is the best, okay, my kid is going to compete and going to go play there, because if I think my kid is the best, I got to put her against the best. That's the only way I'm going to know for sure. I don't want my kid to be the best of the bums.
You don't want to be the big fish in the little pond. You want to go to the big pond, and that will make you a better fish.
Yeah, unless the little pond is the elite pond.
Right,
Then
right.
If that's the elite pond, then send me there. But if there's nothing there, if there's no room for me to grow and develop there, then no, I don't want to be there.
Now, you're the head coach of an elite program, the best in the country for 13 weeks, like you said, number one in the country. Now, this may seem like a generic question, but I feel like a lot listening are going to value your answer a lot. AAU, talk about it. A lot of people are against AAU. I've heard coaches say, no, you never get to work on your craft if you're in AAU because you don't have an off season. Other people said you need it. Like you said, the relationships, the networks. What are your thoughts on AAU? Should an athlete join it early? Should they join it late? What are your thoughts on AAU?
Again, it go back to the fact that it depends on who you're with,
right,
and where you're at. You know, like I said, I was fortunate enough to play for a program where I was getting the necessary training. And so it wasn't just, Uncle JoJo off the street. It was somebody that was actually affiliated and had played ball.
Right.
That played collegiate basketball, that's been around basketball. So, I'm getting the proper education on everything. So I think there's obviously you need the balance. Now with some of these AAU programs, I disagree with kids playing 4 or 5 times in a day and playing 10 games in one weekend. I think that's crazy.
Okay.
But I do appreciate and value the fact that kids have an opportunity to perform in the summer, and then they do get that opportunity to showcase their skills in front of college coaches.
Right.
Obviously, as coaches, and I'm a former collegiate coach, so being able to get an idea of a kid early on, that kind of helps us, as opposed to when you get in super late. Obviously, there's 100 other people, trying to catch the same fish, as you mentioned. And just basically, getting in early, kind of seeing how the kid is developing, seeing how the kid, if there's a chance that this kid can come and help your program, those type of things. So I think there's a balance. I'm not against it, but I'm definitely not for 10 games in one weekend. And
right.
I think that's crazy.
Right. So let's rewind the clocks back again. So you're at Xavier, point guard, 4th all-time in assists. That doesn't just happen. So you're a coach on the floor. Have you always had that desire to coach? Because, like I said, clearly you're a coach on the floor. Did you know that's what you always wanted to pursue?
Probably my junior year at Xavier is when I was like, you know what? I know that I have an opportunity to play at that next level, but I know that I don't want to be there 10, 12 years.
Right.
Like my body is getting tired. I've played at a high level, and for me, I've never been the person who worry about the expectations that everybody else put on me. I'm only in it to satisfy my own expectations. And
right.
At that point, a lot of my expectations had been exceeded. And so, the only expectation I had left was for me to play professionally. Mm-hmm. But I never had the expectation of me having to play 10 plus years or 5 to 10 extra years professionally. So, my junior year, I was like, I have a niche for it. Like you said, I'm the general. I'm basically coaching on the floor. I'm the extension of the head coach. I'm studying the game. I'm watching film. I'm real in tune with it. So I definitely felt like my junior year was the year I was like, I'm definitely going to look into that.
And now, do you feel because you've played on every level that offers you a different point of view and perspective that a lot of other coaches may not, no disrespect to other coaches, but they may not see it through the same lens that you see it through?
Yeah, man, I said this like 2 weeks ago on a podcast that, it's no knock to anybody that's learned the game from a book. I think there are some brilliant coaches that's learned the game of basketball through a book. But in my opinion, I think some of the best coaches in the world are the ones that's had that experience.
Right.
And I say that because in certain situations, it's easy for you to tell me something. Anybody can tell you what to do. But those that can tell you exactly what to do from experience of having that experience of doing it, it's different. So
right.
for me, when I went to college, I wanted to play for somebody that's played,
right.
because I feel like
it's like a respect.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's just I feel like you've been in certain experiences that when that comes to me, you'll know how to get me through it. Yeah. So that's just my personal opinion. And again, that's no disrespect or knock to anybody that's learned, because there are several brilliant coaches that's learned from the book. But I stand on the side of the best teachers are the ones that had that experience.
That did it. Okay, so you get into coaching. Kind of talk about what, like, your first experiences coaching. What was that like? And then we'll kind of dive into what you're doing now.
Yeah, my first opportunity was at Wright State University, and it was great, man. It was actually a really good year. Mike Bradbury was the head coach there. Trina Merriweather was an assistant. She actually just got the head coaching job at Memphis. Valerie King was there, and Keith Freeman. And so they had a really, really great thing going. And this year was just so phenomenal because we actually made the NCAA tournament for the first time in school history.
Wow.
And so you had great players, Taylor Stanton, Taylor Mingo, Ivory James, Kim Demings, who's actually Jersey is retired there, Abby Jump, they had a very, very, very good team. And so the experience was great. I got to Taylor Mingo is from the city. She's from Cleveland. So I knew her, growing up and things like that. So she's an Ohio kid and just getting to work out with her and kind of sharing my experiences from me, just finishing playing overseas and knowing that some of those young ladies had aspirations of doing that. Right. It was great.
So what brought you here to Montverde? Like what was it, what appealed to you? Like, this is where I want to be.
The first thing you said when you got out your car, when you got on campus.
Oh, okay.
What'd you say?
I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, I tell people, you know what? You find gems, and not gems, GYMS, gems, GEMS. When you find hidden gems, like this place is incredible.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, and it sells itself. And so, it almost was like, man, I wanted this opportunity, but it almost seemed like when I speak to recruiting, it's like it recruited me. Mm-hmm. And it recruited me so easily because when I can sit in my office and I'm talking on the phone to a parent and they're inquiring about Montverde Academy, and I can say, hey, listen, let's take basketball off the table, right? Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the school. Mm-hmm. When you talk about Montverde Academy, I'm going to say that this is the best high school in the country. And it's not because I work here. It's because this is the best high school in the country. Facilities like no other that I've seen at a high school level.
Right.
You have 90 different countries. So your kid is getting diversity at a young age. You understand? Before you even get to college, they're already being introduced to people that does not look like them, that may not speak like them, that may accustomed to a different culture, lifestyle. You have 34 college placement courses. So you're already getting a collegiate credit,
right? Collegiate
education. And then on top of that, you have a 100% college acceptance rate. So basically, the sell is and it's not a sell because it's a fact, is that you come here, you go to college. I don't even have to talk about basketball.
Right, just education.
Absolutely. So it's a win-win situation. And then you add on there, and then, hey, in basketball, we're actually pretty good. So
pretty good.
You're getting an all around feel. So this place is like I said, it's a hidden gem. It's not hidden. It's a gem. And I don't know many schools in the country that have 4 gyms, 4 soccer fields, baseball, track. Hell, we have equestrian. Like, we have horses on campus. Behind the gym, we have horses.
That's
like
insane.
I don't know many high schools that can say that. So yeah, man, it was easy. Decision was easy.
I know. I think at the first I was like, this is incredible, and I was like, I liked my high school. Like, I did. I did like it. But so you get into coaching here. We'll talk about your program here very shortly. I have a coaching question for you. Okay. So like when a player goes into an off season, yep. If they're a freshman, they're a sophomore to a junior, even on the professional level, you add tweaks, you get a little bit better. This is what I want to work on. This is what I want to focus on. What is it like for a coach? Is it the same process? Do you apply what you did as a player to a coach? Okay, this is what I want to get better at. This is what I want to focus on.
Yeah, man, that's like anybody. Anytime you have a craft, you have to get better at your craft. Just because we had a decent year or a good year doesn't mean that there's not things that I need to tweak about our team. So for me, I've already watched every game that we've played this season.
Wow.
Because I needed to go back and see, hey, what worked, what didn't work,
right.
Opposed to who we have coming in. What can we utilize? What can we recycle from last year? What do I need to revamp? What do we need to, what's the adjustments? What's the, so I'm always, I'm smart enough to know that I don't know enough, and it's a lot of coaches that think they know it all. And that's the downfall. I think I'm very good at my craft, but I need to learn. I need to grow. I can learn from anybody.
Right.
I can learn from everybody. So that's why I always say that I'm smart enough to know that I don't know it all. And so going back and seeing, the things that could be better, the ways to tighten up, Absolutely. I'm big on development and big on getting better.
Now, COVID, now as a coach, so you're here now, what was that like? Because COVID obviously is a very unfamiliar situation for everybody. I mean, I called up Shot, I called up other people. I'm like, what do I do here? Like, how does it affect what I'm trying to do? Like, this is just unfamiliar territory. So what was that like for a coach? You have COVID. What was the season like? Your players, how did they handle it? What was that like?
It was almost like, trying to figure out if you're even going to have a season.
Right.
That was the first thing. The second thing is, half my team is international. And so, I have 6 kids that's coming from overseas. And, part of it was like, man, you get into season in November, December comes, Christmas. I'm that coach that I'm always going to respect, their Christmas break. Because at the end of the day, these kids are boarding kids. They're here year round. And I think that, they're kids. And so missing their family and sometimes can be homesick and things like that, they're always going to have a Christmas break. I want to always allow that. And so, my heart was racing like, man, kids going back overseas, I don't know, come on, Lord, let them bring them back. Yeah, let them come on back, COVID free and all those good things. And so we had a tournament to go to right after Christmas break. We ended up playing in the She Got game in Atlanta. And the school, obviously, of course, did that due diligence. And they, we got tested before. Right. We kind of quarantined. And I'm telling you, the most nervous I've been all year.
Really?
I'm not a game, this was the most nervous I have been all year is when we went and got tested. I was sitting in that seat like
sweating bullets.
Everybody got their test, and I'm like, gosh, man, who's it gonna be? Somebody ain't gonna make the trip.
Right.
And lo and behold, man, we had 15 negative results, and I was like, this is just it's incredible, it's unreal. We got to go play in that tournament, came out of it undefeated, and so it was just great, man. But it's been a weird year.
Talked about how you always face adversity. This is just a unique challenge.
You got to hit it head on, because at the end of the day, we're not the only people going through it. Everybody's going through it. Can't complain about it because it's not like COVID is hitting us and it's not hitting anybody else.
Hitting the whole world.
Yeah. So, we make no excuses, man. We roll with the punches. We figure it out as we go.
Now, you have so much talent on this roster. So before we get into specifics, you as a coach, when do you know a player has it? Because you have, like I said, you have a lot of talent on this roster. So when you're looking at a player, is it a conversation? Is it a drill? Is it a game? When do you know the player has that it to them?
I think the approach, how individuals approach their day to day. I have some kids on this team that have, it's incredible because I played with a lot of talented people, and I think that some of my teammates and things like that I played in high school, they didn't reach their potential because they didn't have the right approach. Okay. These kids, man, they come in, they have that mindset of getting better. They compete. Like, they will run through a wall, so that approach is just different. When you have that, it's like everything else follows. That's the first thing. They're self-motivated. Right. I don't have to motivate you. All I have to do is teach you and coach you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy. That's the easy part. 90% of it is them being motivated and the willingness to do what you're asking.
Right.
And they do that. And so, man, this year was man, to be able to show up in a practice and just, it's like, a dogfight where people are, battling it out because everybody on this team come from somewhere where they were the best on their team.
Right.
Every person on my team. And when you come to a situation where, everybody's the best. Now how do you shift your mind frame to say, you know what? I got to compete. I got to develop. Because if you come here and you cower down, I would tell you this isn't the place for you. If you're not going to come compete, this isn't the place for you. Because this is a day in and day out. You got to compete.
So is a challenge in a weird way, it's a good challenge to have. You have so much talent. Is it to get everyone to buy into their role? Is that a challenge?
I don't think so because we all have one goal. If the goal is a national championship, then we all know that if coach lay out the blueprint of here's how we get to it, then we got to be on board and follow. Yeah.
Right.
And so, again, I have selfless kids where I tell people all the time, when you come to Montverde Academy, this is a marriage. You give up the I for an us. It's and our slogan is we over me. And so if you can't make that you can't adjust and you can't realize and understand that it's not about you, it's about the we, the whole, the us, the team, then this is not the place for you.
Right.
Because we're selfless. I'm gonna make that extra pass because you're open. man, my shot is off. I'm going to get to the cup and I'm going to get somebody else open.
Right.
My shot is off. I'm going to get this steal. I'm going to get that ball up. I'm going to rebound. I'm going to dive on the floor. You know, we're selfless. We understand that. We understand that, man, I'm not the woman tonight. So-and-so is. Let me make sure I give her every opportunity to be on fire tonight. You know, so that's we're selfless here. And if that's not in you, then this ain't for you. And, you know.
And it's like problem solving, and it's back to their approach. It's like you're not living your day, you're attacking your day.
Yeah.
And, okay, so I have one last talent question for you, because I'm picking your brain here. I'm learning before we dive into this, your actual players. Now, one thing, everyone listening, you know, I'm a LeBron guy, right?
Yeah.
And so I know his interviews like the back of my head.
Okay.
And one of the things, like when he makes that extra pass, people are like, why didn't he shoot the ball? And he always says, that's not how I was taught to play. I was taught to play the game the right way at a young age.
Yeah.
So you have the opportunity to teach these players at a very young age that will go to that next level.
Yeah.
So what are some things that you're like, this is what I want to make sure I teach them that will be transferable?
The same thing I just said. Everybody's the woman on this at this program.
Right.
You know, some of my young ladies are they're going to go and play at a really high level.
Right.
You know, I have a young lady this year going BCS, you know, Power 5, what have you. And, you know, she has to understand that everybody's good. You know, when you're at, let's use UConn, for example. Paige Beckers is phenomenal.
Right.
But guess what? Williams and all those other kids that had to step up, everybody's good. You don't compete at that level. You don't compete for a Final Four. You don't compete if you don't have, you know, the entire, the whole, the team.
Right.
And so, that's the advice I'm giving, that you have to be selfless. You got to be adaptable. You have to be resourceful. You have to be able to do anything. You have to be a chameleon. Anything that coach asks you, like, you got to be able to, boom, do that. You know, I tell kids all the time, quit saying, like, I'm a shooter. I'm a shooting guard. I'm just a point guard, because you're limiting yourself.
Right.
Coach, I'm 1 through 5. If you need me to play 1 through 5, you know what? That's going to give me more minutes. That's going to give me an opportunity to help serve this team. Or if that's going to put me on the floor to do something to put this team in a position to win, I'm that then. I'm not just a point guard. Shit, I'm a playmaker.
I'm a basketball player.
I'm a playmaker. Put me wherever you need me to be. If you need me to play the 5, I'm too little. I'm sitting on knees. You get the ball, I'm gonna do what I need to do. But these kids aren't, you know, they're not built like that because they're not being taught that.
Right. Okay, so now let's dive into the specifics. Let's talk about your roster. Let's give these players their flowers. Talk about it. What's some of the talent with some of the players? Those listening that want to know about your roster, know about some of these players. Let's go through it.
I have 4 seniors this year. So Mariana Valenzuela, she's from Mexico. She is actually going to Florida State. She's like a stretch 4. She's very good. Young lady, can play, put the ball in the basket, can post up, can hit the 3 ball, hit the mid range. You know, she's a player. You know, she's a player. She's a selfless kid, and she's one of those kids where, you know, I think she's going to go and have an opportunity to play right away. And I say that, and I'm confident in saying that because she's got that development here. She understands the game of basketball. She understands hard work. She knows, you know, what it takes, and she knows what it requires. And so I'm ecstatic and excited to see what that kid does this summer and then going into her freshman year. Nevaeh Henley is going to Furman University and another phenomenal kid. She's a wing kid, about 6 foot guard. I think that, you know, she has an opportunity to be very good. You know, and I think that in that conference, I think she can do some great things in that conference. You know, just with that, the confidence instilled in her to go and be great. And again, I think that she has an opportunity to play as a freshman. Maria Mekobus, who is going to Northwest Florida.
Wow.
I think that she's going to go there. She's probably going to do 1 year. I think that the pandemic was very weird, as we've already said.
Right.
And, you know, with the NCAA granting seniors their opportunity to come back again, it shift things for a lot of seniors. And so, you know, she's going to go to a junior college. But she's definitely she's a Division I kid, you know, stretch 4, shoot the cover off the ball. She's probably my second best shooter on this team. And so another selfless kid, run through the wall, set hard screens, do the dirty stuff. You know, call it the dirty work, not a dirty player, but she's going to dive on floors. She's going to jump ball. She's going to rip that ball. She's going to rebound. She's going to do the dirty work, the grunt work. Valentina Ojega, my kid, she's from Chile. She's going to Independence Community College. Another kid that I think will possibly go a year.
Wow.
She's about 5'11", almost 6 foot kid, wing, can also play the 4. put the ball in the basket. But she's quiet. She's the example kid. She ain't gonna talk about it. She ain't gonna talk you to death. She's not gonna, but she's that example. Returning Fatima Jayete is a 6'5" post player. I think that she's playing currently right now, just getting herself in shape, getting accustomed to. She's a nice person, very nice, and trying to get her to, you're nice in person, but on the court, there's
a dog.
There's a different demeanor. So, she's a big and catch, finish around the basket. Just want her to continue to capitalize on her opportunity, and I think that, I think she'll be very good for us. Another junior is Fernando Ovay. She's from Chile. She's actually playing for the Chilean national team right now. She is, to me, this year our glue. This kid plays, talking about both ends of the floor, defensively, getting those gaps, shooting the gaps, could put the ball in the basket, has that funny European, crazy, extra European step, weird finishes to the basket. She's that kid, but she's going to be very good. She's going to play at a high level, and she has a high motor. And I expect, great things from her next season. Sophomore, Miracle Shepherd. She's like that.
She's like that.
Both ends of the floor. Miracle is about 5'9", 5'10" guard. She plays for FBC out of Atlanta. Defensively, 94 feet.
In your face.
In your face, in your grill, passing lanes, on ball. She's a rebounding guard. She can rebound. Gonna put some consistency with her jump shot. But the kid has, she has an IQ. Got to get her to slow down, play at different speeds. She's fast as hell. She's gonna
just all gas, no brakes.
Yeah, but got to get her a little more shifty. But she's a sophomore. She's gonna be phenomenal. Rusna, Augustianite. She's from Lithuania. She plays for the Lithuanian national team. She is the best pure shooter I've ever coached.
Wow.
She is a 3-level scorer. The kid is just, she just smooth. Like, you ain't gonna speed her up. You're not gonna rush her. She has the one leg fade away. She has the mid range. She's finesse. She got the pull and transition 3, catch and shoot. This kid's ceiling is incredible. She's a sophomore, and man, I think
shooting's off the charts.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. Gracie Hall. She's a junior guard. Gracie, I think with a little more development, she'll probably end up, probably going to a junior college to get more development. But the kid, as long as she continue to work hard and grow, and she's competing against elite, great players every day. So I think that, her growth is uncharted. And if she taps in and really devotes her time and energy to getting better, then I think that, her ceiling is, her future is bright. I have a couple freshman kids, Aaliyah Perry, who is, she's scrappy little guard. I think that, got to develop her handles a little more, and definitely got to get her shot to some level of consistency to where she, she's the first kid I've ever seen shoot a jump shot but don't jump. And she's about 5'3". So I'm like, it's just, it's like, gotta get her to shoot jump shots. Work on like little floaters and things like that. But again, she's a freshman. It's hard to speak to the freshmen because they're so young and just development. So, but yeah, that was this year's team, man. And I think we're really good.
Talent. Yep.
Yeah, man. Got some incoming kids coming in. Trying to make sure I didn't miss anybody on this year's roster.
For sure, take your time.
Actually, let me help myself. Yeah, man. That's
everything.
I got them. Like I said, I had 3 freshmen. Xavier University. She's from Chile. Also had I'm missing Jana Provenzano. She's another freshman. Like I said, those young ladies work hard, man. Their development, when they continue to develop, they're gonna be off the chains, man. So that was this year's roster. Well, incoming, man. We got, what? I think that we'll be pretty good. I think we just were fortunate enough to have Jordana Codillo, and then Janiyah Barker right now, and so things are looking
really good.
Looking really good.
You look so excited.
I'm excited, man. Who's not excited when you have, the foundation of your team is coming back, and then you're adding some spark with some phenomenal kids, man. So I think that, those young ladies are winners.
Right.
Those young ladies are coming here. They, eyes on the prize, and they want to win a championship. And so it's always great when you have, and then that gives us leadership. You have that leadership. You have people that's
Absolutely.
played at a high level that can come in and talk to the younger ones and influence them in a positive manner.
I could tell you really love what you do. So
Yeah,
that's
man.
awesome. I'm really big on motivations. I'm really goal oriented. Like my screensaver for my phone is just like my goals that I'm trying to achieve, maybe for the week, the year, lifetime.
Nice.
So for you, this is documented. I'm all big into why wait to say something.
Yeah.
So what are your goals, expectations going into next year's season?
Man, you know what? My expectations were, I'm always gonna shoot for that championship. I think that I have a championship mentality. We scholarships and championships is what what I'm priding here, and so next year just continuing to develop. My hopes is that we have enough young ladies to where I have a second team next year where some of those freshmen I spoke of and have an opportunity to actually get more time on the floor, and so just trying to develop and build more teams, but just for my young ladies to come in and over the summer get better. Skill wise, I'm big on skill development. Get better there, and then national championship, man. That's huge. I mean, we write our goals on the board.
Yeah, that's the first thing I looked at. I was
Obviously,
like, man,
about this year we were one of the whole teams under 39%. Defensively, we wanted to average 15 assists per game. We wanted to have at least 12 to 13 deflections per game. We wanted to be plus 12 on the rebounds. So we were able to do a lot of that. Our win margin this year, we were plus 28 in points on a lot of our wins. So we did a lot of great things. I think, for a lot of us, our young ladies, we really wanted that championship. And so, we came up short, but we're on the right track.
Now, the first thing I did when I walked in was I heard your phone ring. So I'm sure you're getting this a lot already. But is there any way that you want people to reach out to you, communicate with you, anyone interested in coming here or talking with you?
Yeah, you can follow our page. You can follow our school page at our Montverde Academy girls basketball. It'll be at MVAGBB on Twitter and on Instagram. And then myself, just my name at Special Jennings. It's always great to have new people, new followers, and we try to keep people invested in what we're doing and what we have coming up. I think that we're headed in the right direction, and we're just looking for that support, man. The wagon, I like to say the wagon is full, but that's for the haters.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that's coming in and want to, just support us, support us. The haters are welcome, that fuels us, but we're definitely looking for positive energy and good vibes.
Well, Coach Special Jennings, Montverde basketball women's head coach, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. You have our support. I will be in attendance whenever I can. And like I said, I'm not too far away, so I appreciate you coming on.
All right. Thanks, Max. This was dope, man. Thank you for having me.